My dear students, welcome to one more session of the chapter Web Designing. After this, we will move on to one more tag, that is form. That is form tag, or we say form or forms in HTML. Students, now all of you are familiar with the internet and web browser, everything. You might have come across few forms, that's electronic forms. What are forms? It is nothing, here I am talking about electronic forms. Normally, when you go for any admission to any of the, you take an example of our college. Whenever you go to any admission to any of the college, you are supposed to, or they will ask you to fill one application form, isn't it? So this application form, what would be there? Normally generally in application forms, it consists of many fields, isn't it? Look at the example here. Suppose this is, I take one simple example, this is one application form. This is one application form. Generally what will be there? First of all, they may ask you your first name or name. Will be like this, or in some other form you may come across second name, isn't it? Second name, then date of birth. There are some columns like this. Then apart from that, they may ask you to write gender, and here you may find something like this. One indicates for male, second for female. And apart from this, they may ask you to write hobbies. Under, they will mention here, for example, reading, writing, painting, etc. And apart from this, when you continue with this, you will come across description, at last you may find something like submit or reset. Students, if you look at this example here, this is normally we say electronic form. What do you mean electronic form? Means this is you are supposed to, or you are going to fill it through online or with help of internet. Nowadays everything is through online. You may have to apply online, isn't it? So what's the meaning of that? Here visit any of the website or any of the college website where you want to get admission, isn't it? So when you visit any of the website, you may find forms or application form. So there they will ask you to fill following information similar to this almost. So if you look into these forms here, so these forms, this is one form, it has, see, there are different types of fields here, isn't it? See, this is first name, second name, and date of birth, and gender here, and hobbies, and maybe your description, isn't it? Or look at this. So in this one, all these are nothing, or we call it as elements. We call it as elements. Generally, this is an A form. So generally, normally we say when you write this manual, this called manual form. These are called different fields. And when we talk about electronic forms, we are going to give this information through online. Here, these are different types of elements. If you look into that, this is another type of, one type of element or a field where you are going to first name, where you are going to write your text. We are going to write your text value, isn't it? Suppose name, it consists of alphabets, all alphanumeric character. Similarly, this is also a text. And this is numbers. This is numbers. And here, if you look into that, in this example here, you are supposed to select any one of this. You may get something like this, and here you are supposed to select any one of this, and this is called as radio buttons. We say radio buttons. Radio buttons. And there are some fields like hobbies. You are supposed to tick or check any of the options. So these are called as checkbox. They are called as checkbox or checkboxes. And here, if you come to this field here, and here description, see if you compare these two, what is it? Again, here we are going to write some information, but here first name is not more than one line, it likes only limited characters. And here there is an option to write here number of rows or more number of characters. So this is called as text area. It is, another is called text area. And apart from this, there are two more buttons like submit as well as reset, isn't it? See, once if you complete this information, all the informations within this form, what normally you are going to do, you are going to click on submit button, isn't it? So, what is the meaning of submit button? As soon as you click on submit button, the information goes to a server. It goes to a particular server or some other application program. It goes to particular server or some application program, isn't it? So that is now. And again, what is the reset button? See, what is the reset button? See, if you click on reset button, the entire value, whatever I have entered so far, will be erased, and again it becomes a blank form. So again you have to retype all the data once again. So whenever, hope you have come across many examples like this while browsing or when you visit any of the website or when you apply for some other application or some other course, isn't it? So this is, I'm talking about electronic form. What is electronic forms here? So these forms, it looks like in this way or in this design. So here we say user has to enter all the details and submit to the particular company, a particular office through this submit button. It goes to, as soon as you click on submit button, it goes to all the values will be stored or executed or processed at the server level, or there are some application program, it will take care of that. So this is, I'm talking about forms. So normally then by looking at this, what is the definition of forms? What is the definition of forms now? So forms are nothing but it takes the input from the user and sent to server or some other program. That's the meaning of forms. So what are forms in HTML? In HTML, forms are used to, forms used to take the values or input from the user and send it to, or we say post it to the server or some other background application. So this is nothing but your forms. And here forms, and it has number of fields, that is called as elements. So a form has many elements inside this forms. So now look into that one by one in detail. So what are forms? Forms are used to input the values or data from the user. This is forms, and this form has many elements. Form has many elements. They are one is text field, text area, password. This is password, radio button, checkbox, and again submit and reset. So each forms may have the following elements, are nothing but fields. They are text field or text area, password, radio button, checkbox, submit and reset button. So now let us discuss these elements one by one. Form, this form tag, it has attributes. They are attributes of form tags. They are one is action. This is, it says that backend script or program is ready to accept the data. That is the meaning of action attribute. Next we have method attribute, and here it used to upload the data or information given by the user, and this associated with, there are two tags, that is called get tag and post tag. Okay, students, what are forms? Forms are used to accept the input from the user, and it send that submit to or send to, that is by using with the help of action and a method tag, it goes to the particular server or some particular application or background application. And here, as I told already, which are form elements, we have many form elements. Now let us see. First one is text input control. First one is text input controls. So what is the meaning of text input control, students? Now just have given an example here for first name, isn't it? Or maybe second name or username. And here you take, for example, password. If you look at this example, here your name will be of only with limited character, of limited space, isn't it? And again username also. And here this is password, but password space area. If you look into that, so this is a type of text where it has, is called single line input. This is one type of control, is called single line input, isn't it? Now is only one. Suppose if we talk about first name or name, your name, it cannot be more than one line. It has limited number of characters. So one type of text control or input control is single line input, that is this one. And second type of control is your password. This is your password control. What is the meaning of password control here? As all of you know, your password, if you might have come across many examples. If you want to set a password for your username and ID, there it says that not more than 8 characters, not more than 10 characters, isn't it? So it has a limit. So this is another type of text input control. And next one is we have multi-line control, where I had given example like description, isn't it? If you look at the description part, there it consists of more than one line. So you can specify here number of rows and number of columns. So this is your there are three methods of text controlling here. One is single line control, example your name or username, and another type of control is password, where you are supposed to enter password, it has limited number of characters, and similarly description, where it takes more than one row. So this is how. Now look at what is syntax of this. Now how do you write this now? Now let us see the syntax of text tag. This is single line text. Single line text. Normally, how do we use this here? See, the syntax is we are writing here input type equals, here we say type equals text, because it is a single line input. Is a input type equals to text, and name equals, for example, user ID. I am closing this input tag. Then after this, here input type equals password, name equals password. I am closing this, and here user ID, and here password. We are closing here form. Students, look into this here. Here this form, we have opened the form tag here, and we have closed at the end. So in between I have used here user ID, input type. Here input is a tag, input type equal to text, name equal to user ID. And here in this example, password, input, type equal to password, name equal to password. So what is the output of this? Output of this would be here you will get first user ID is the name here. So you will get user ID colon here, and with the help of this you will get one text box. And after this, if you use here BR tag, that is line break. If you use B tag here, immediately after this we have second syntax is password. So this is password colon, and here input type is password. It has one more text field here. So output of this small syntax, it would be like this. So this is, we are using here single line text control. Here what is the syntax we are using here? Input tag with this type equal to text here, because we are going to enter text here. Similarly, name, user ID, it takes the value of user ID. And similarly, with the help of line break, BR command, it goes to next, control goes to next line, display will be in the next line. So password, it display as it is, and input type equal to password and name equal to password. So this is example for single line text control. Students, see, this is one of the form element is text field, single line text. Students, let me stop at this stage. We will come back to you with our next session. Thank you very much.